You are listening to the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast, episode 63. On this episode of the show, we're giving you some tips as a waterfowl hunter, how you survive the dog days of summer. All right, welcome to the 63rd episode of the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast. We are your on-demand audio source for all things waterfowl and waterfowl hunting. I'm your host, Josh Palm. Joining me today, as he always does, is my co-host, Dan Harushka. Dan, what's up, man?
Dog Days of Summer. That's what we're naming the episode, and it is just that. You know, you got some...
That's right.
I always open it with weather, and, you know, I'm sitting here, and I don't even know what the temperature is, but it's muggy, and I live in an old farmhouse that my great-grandmother bought, so, you know, like a few generations down the road, so we don't have the full home air conditioning, so I'm sitting in my kitchen and a couple windows open, fans on, so there might be some buzzing on here, but, you know, it's hot and muggy and got the...
Just sitting around in your underoos recording an episode?
Just sitting here in my whitey tighties talking about some ducks.
Nice. Well... for anyone that's new to the show, welcome. Good way to start off this episode. But you can check us out. We've got hpoutdoors.com. You can check us out across all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can check out all the past episodes that we've got on iTunes. You can subscribe, get all the new ones automatically pushed out to you. So if you're new to the show, welcome. If you've been around for a while, I know you guys have been giving us a little bit of a hard time because we've been a little bit inconsistent with our episodes lately, but as I'm sure you'll hear throughout the course of this episode, we've had quite a bit going on and been kind of tough to get ourselves lined up. And as a matter of fact, I mean, this episode was even kind of challenging to get our schedules lined up. But yeah, we thought it would be a good idea to kind of talk a little bit about, you know, here we are, we're recording this, it's June 15th. And, you know, we're kind of getting into the summertime when it's sort of the doldrum days of summer for the waterfowl hunter. And it's, you know, kind of like you feel, you know, duck hunting season was so long ago, it seems like, and it feels like there's so much more time to go, you know, before you get to the season again. So we figured we'd talk a little bit about some of the ways that we kind of cope with the summer and things that we do to sort of pass the time until the next waterfowl season begins. But I think probably, Dan, it's probably a good time for us to maybe talk about one of the newest, you know, changes to go on here with HP, and that we've recently partnered up with Onyx Maps to, you know, we've started using their, you know, their mapping service, and, you know, maybe you could talk a little bit more about it as well. But, you know, it's basically, you know, one of the types of programs that turns your phone into a GPS, provides you tons of information right at your tip of your fingers, landowner information, all of that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of stuff that we've used in the past, you know, and kind of relied on very heavily. And I know, speaking for me, I'm really excited to partner up with Onyx Maps and kind of get in with those guys.
Yeah, and you know, I've been friends with Ed Gramza, who's their pro staff account manager, and he's been telling me for, you know, probably last year, you know, there's a lot of big things coming out with these guys, and we finally got on with them. And, you know, I think it's something, like you said, we always talk about it, going out and being able to have the landowner information at your fingertips to go up and say, hey, you know, Mr. Wilson or Mr. Thompson, you know, do you mind if I hunt here? And it's just one less step that you have to take to gain permission on some properties. And really the accuracy is just... it's on point. So, great guys over there, and great guys and gals, I shall say. And, yeah, excited to be a part of that team.
Yeah. And you know, this what they've got's a little bit different than what we've used kind of in the past, because with their system, you can obviously do it on the computer desktop, do it on your phone, all that kind of stuff, but you can actually save the maps for offline use. So, if you're in an area where you're out in the, sticks and you don't get any cell phone signal or whatever, and your phone doesn't connect, you can save those maps or those portions of maps where you're going to be, so you can still access them and you can still see property lines and all of that kind of stuff. Super, super helpful, particularly, if you're hunting areas that are high pressure and people want to say, well, you don't have access to this field, or you don't know this landowner, or whatever it is. It's kind of nice to be able to pull that kind of stuff up and be like, oh no, like Mr. Smith is giving me permission, and I can show you right here, I'm on his field and all this stuff. So, really cool, lots of different layers. And I know there's a lot of guys that listen to the show that use OnX already, which is great. And, for those of you that aren't on it right now, we've got a little something exciting to share with you guys as well. Because of the relationship that we've formed with OnX Maps, we've actually been able to get a discount code for the listeners of the HP Outdoors Waterfowl podcast. So basically what this means is you can go to www.onxmaps.com, put in the discount code HP Outdoors. It's all one word, lowercase. It is case sensitive, I believe. So all lowercase, HP Outdoors. Put that in, you're going to get 20% off of your mobile membership cost right there. So, obviously we're able to form a lot of relationships with companies through the show because of the reach of the show and the people that listen to the show. So it's great. I love when we can work out arrangements where we can get something back to the listeners of the show. So really excited for that. For those of you that are currently members, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dan, but you can still take advantage of this. But what you would need to do is when your membership expires, you would need to disengage the auto renew feature essentially.
Right.
And basically purchase a new membership starting fresh using the discount code. And you can also get the 20% off. So, keep that in mind and, take advantage of it. They're fortunate, we're fortunate enough to have it, and they were great enough to offer it. So, please, everybody take advantage of that if you feel like OnX Maps is something that you could benefit from. And, we talked about social media, Dan, but our Facebook group, the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast Listeners Group, which I'm thinking about renaming that because it's just a mouthful to say. But, you're really active in there. I'm active in there as much as I can be. But if you have questions about the app or how we use it or ways that you want to use it, and if we think that would work or whatever, hit us up. You can email us. Email's not the best because Dan can't figure out how to get it on his phone, and I just don't have time to check it that much. I got mine back,
not the info, but I got my personal one on there now.
Right. You have the one on there that no one knows the email address to. That's cool. Anyway, so if you email us and you don't get a response, don't hate us. It's just sometimes too much to keep up with. So, hit us up on social media if you can. We like that a lot better. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. But you can reach out to us and we can answer any questions that you guys might have about the app and, tips to use it and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, I'm on Facebook way too much. So just hit us up on there.
You work at Facebook sometimes.
Me and Zuck, we're good friends. You want to know something I heard? Oh,
I'd love to.
Yeah. So Zuckerberg lately has been going around the United States and in each state meeting with very powerful people, so to speak. But I think it was on another podcast that they said they talked to some analytic friend that they had, and they believe within the next 10 years that Zuckerberg will be the president of the United States.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The problem is, I think he's going to have a hard time connecting with middle America,
yep.
But hey, what do I know?
Yep.
We don't like to get too political on this show, obviously, but, yeah, who the heck knows in the political world these days?
It's all fake news.
What can happen? So much fake news.
So much.
So, all right, let's talk a little bit about kind of, we haven't, I hadn't even realized how long it had been since we put out an episode until we were talking about, oh yeah, we should probably get something together. And I looked and it had been like 2 months. So I was
really 2 months and like probably 30 Instagram messages and probably 100 Facebook messages. Every time we post something, we get a response.
Oh yeah, we get tons of hate mail. I mean, people get better that we don't put out more content sometimes. But like the thing is, the summer is brutal for this kind of stuff. For content wise, I mean, we're not hunting, we're doing everything else in our lives but hunting right now. It's very, it's tough. People are, getting guests. They're doing shows, they're traveling, they're vacationing with their families because for them, the hunting season is crazy, so it's just tough right now. And, I think a lot of people get that. I mean, honestly, the fact that people ask us so much about when we're putting out a next, I do take that as a compliment. I take that as a good sign because obviously people want to hear, want more of the show, which is great. And we love that. But, there's just, it's challenging, with what we've got going on. And we're going to get into some of that, I think, probably as we talk about how we're dealing with the summer and kind of what we're doing. But, I think for me, I'll start it off with how I deal with not having duck season and stuff in the summertime. And this has always been a big one for me, talking on this show about brownie points, right? And picking your spots and all this kind of stuff. I love waterfowl hunting. It is literally one of my most favorite things to do in the entire world. But I make a concerted effort in the summertime to, at least to some degree, try to scrub it from my brain to the best of my ability. And the reason why I do that is because I know once August and September comes around where I start scouting for geese and I'm getting ready to hunt. And once that starts, it goes all the way through, the mid-February. I know that just wears my wife out. All I talk about is hunting. All I'm thinking about, she's like, hey, you want to go do this on Saturday? And I'm like, yeah, we can go at like 2:00. So I'm going duck hunting in the morning. Or it's like, it's always something that we have to work around me being hunting and being in the outdoors. So I try really, really hard to not be that guy through the summertime with my wife. It's like, hey, if she wants to go to the pool or if she wants to, go to a festival or whatever it is, I try to be way more receptive to that kind of stuff and just build those brownie points because Lord knows I cash them in the fall and the wintertime. So I would, for the guys that are married out there and have kids and stuff, don't be afraid to kind of unplug from duck hunting, even though, you love it. It's okay to kind of take a step back and refocus your priorities a little bit, throughout the summer. At least that's what I've done. And it's been pretty successful. I'm coaching my son's T-ball teams and,
What are you laughing at?
My birthday was this week, right? And, some of the guys in the Facebook group are very funny, very witty. So, they like to bring up, cause we talk a lot about our personal lives on here. So they bring up, Josh, the CrossFitter and all these different things that I've been doing. And I know one of the things I've talked about a lot on the show was building a deck, right? A couple years back. That was a big thing. Well, recently I got talked into building some deck chairs.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like a sectional kind of thing. And, it took up a bunch of my time. And while that was also going on, we have a rental property that we've owned for several years that we had our tenant move out and we're selling it. So I was getting that ready to put on the market and stuff like that. So between those two things, I mean, I was like all over the place, and T-ball every Saturday morning and all that kind of stuff. But those are things that my wife wanted me to do. Cause we wanted some deck furniture and it's like super, super expensive. So I just said, I can build that pretty easily. And I did. But, those are wins in my favor, I think. But, I'm sure there's going to be some like picture of me building like a bridge or something in the Facebook group on Monday morning. And
hey, you're still not
mocking me openly.
You're still not up to van status. God.
Oh, well, nothing will ever top me.
Lord, it's like every third post is a sticker on the back of a van.
Yeah, that horse gets beat pretty hard.
Dan, is this you? Did I see you today? Just nonstop.
That is funny. So what about you, Dan? What are some of the things you do in the summertime to kind of get through?
Same thing, just being present, like you said, and we talk about the struggles of getting time to do stuff. Like what time it is? It's 10:06 p.m. on a Thursday right now. So, literally, it was, I think, 9:50. I had to get off the phone with Josh because one of my kids was crying. So, I mean, it's like, 10 p.m. every night, and to try and trying to get it hooked up. And, I know you wake up super early and to get to work, and, it is what it is. And I missed hearing your voice over that 2 months, so I'm glad we're back on.
Mr. Musk.
But
I mean,
being present and just doing what we're supposed to be doing, and not, like you said, just not pounding that into the ground all the time about hunting, and really making the time count with the family.
Yeah, I think that's definitely important. But, there are ways in the summertime to incorporate your family, particularly if you have kids, into some, duck hunting related tasks and stuff like that. So in the summertime, is typically when I start working on blinds and cleaning stuff and kind of thinking about the things that you thought about every time you hunted in the fall. You're like, man, for next season, we need to do this, or for next season, we need to have that, or we should do this for next season. I feel like every year those conversations happen, and then half the time you never do them, and you have the same conversations again the next season. Mm-hmm. So, but in the summertime, if you get a chance, it's a good time to, you want to go build up your blinds or rebrush some blinds and stuff like that. Get the kids out. I mean, obviously you can't be out there when it's freaking 95 degrees in the middle of the day doing it, but if you could spend an evening or, loop it into, if you got a blind on a pond or something, get your kids out there with the fishing poles for a little bit, do some fishing, do some blind brushing, that kind of stuff. Those are all great things that you need to get done in preparation for the season, but you can also kind of include the kids, which for me, if I can include my son in something, it's pretty much green light. I can do it. My wife's never going to give me a hard time at all about doing anything that my son's involved with me. So we, he just needs to start liking, scouting and stuff like that, and I'll be gold.
Well, I know he can probably outfish you already.
Yeah, he's into it, man. There's no question about that. I mean, he is big on ripping lips. There's no confusion there. He's in.
And bucket mouth. So I saw your wife posted a picture of them the last game. Did he really put one out of the park or what?
Oh, I knew you would catch on to that.
Because she wrote literally or something like that. So I thought that she might.
For those who don't know, Dan claims that he hit a dinger over the fence and hit the dairy aisle in the air as a T-baller.
No,
I mean, it's a little league field, 200-yard fence or 200-foot fence. He's hitting dingers off the tee. He claims. So anyway, no, my son didn't hit one over the fence. He hit one into the outfield on a fly off the tee, which was his best hit of his career. So he was very excited about that, and it was kind of a good way to end T-ball because we're going to bump up to machine pitch. Nice. I don't know if he's going to play baseball or soccer in the fall, but if he plays baseball, it'll be machine pitch. So he's, graduating up a level. So it was a good ending. Yeah, a good ending for him on that.
And it wasn't T-ball. It was like coach pitch, and I hit the top of the fence.
Whatever, dude. This story just changes every time I hear it. It's so much, literally, you know what? I just had a revelation. You are the originator of fake news. You started this 15 years ago when we were a little kid, when we were playing high school ball.
Oh, my God.
Tell me how you went off the dairy aisle. And no way.
I used to crush the dairy aisle, but that was in Little League.
Yeah, whatever.
I think they renamed it after me for baseball season. Got free cones. Free cones every time I broke a window.
Oh, all right. Well, what else are you doing to get through the summer?
Well,
I know you love cutting grass.
Oh, I tell you what. Yeah. So, okay. Well, you're talking about cleaning stuff, but my dad and I, well, you know how my whole life is like just a locker, no matter if it's my garage or my truck or whatever. But my dad and I are having a contest of who can clean their garage the best. And I think I'm winning by far. But, I started cleaning up my blinds and whatnot, and I did. I got a new mower, a 0-turn, and I cut my mowing from like 2.5 hours to under an hour, and it is amazing.
So are you just like driving around cutting people's grass just because you like doing it now?
I did. I went down and I mowed my aunt's yard, and like,
of course you did.
But it was like, it was only like 21 minutes or something. I was done, so it wasn't a big deal. And then just zoom up. I mean, 8.4 miles an hour on a lawnmower, 4 acres an hour if you needed it. I mean, come on. It's
pretty intense.
That's ridiculous. But it's definitely, yeah. I think I mowed the first 2 days that I got it, like my whole yard. I mowed once, and then I had to lower it. So I mowed again the next day, and then I skipped one day, and then I mowed it again the following day. So yeah, I'm having fun with it.
It's out of hand.
It is out of hand. But yeah, vacation. We did plan a vacation, which is beginning of September, so that's going to cut into early goose. But
yeah, for all of those listening, I don't recommend that. Side note.
Yeah, but you know what? The amount of money you
Summer's
save.
3 months long. Plenty of time to find a week to go on vacay during non-goose season.
Non-goose. But it was
just
a huge price difference between the end of August and the first week of September. So I couldn't argue with it.
Everyone's duck hunting, so nobody wants to be there, dude.
No, everyone's kids go back to school, so I'm going to take advantage of that $1,500 savings for another year while my kids are not in school.
All right, well, I guess I'll just go hunting without you.
Ugh.
So, let's see here. What else do I typically do? I've talked on this show at length about other hobbies that I have, which they're plentiful, but I try to focus a lot, on those other hobbies, particularly if they're ones that my family can, be included in and stuff like that, fishing. But I know a lot of guys that listen to the show like to fish, like to boat, camp, hike, all that kind of stuff. All good outdoor activities and stuff are great for the summertime. Obviously, if you play golf, you can get out, tee it up, that kind of stuff. But, lately for me, I've been doing a lot of research on cameras, and I'm looking to kind of upgrade my camera situation. So I've been doing a lot of research on that. And of course, my wife, loves it when, you take quality pictures of the kids and stuff like that. They love that. So I'm doing something that I enjoy. She loves it, so it's a win for everybody. So that's always good. And it's like, I meet a lot of guys that, where I live, I don't know a ton of hunters, right around me immediately. I live in a suburb where, it's pretty, white collar area kind of thing. And, a lot of guys I meet just don't seem to have a lot of hobbies. Like, I don't know, maybe they golf once in a while, but like a lot of them just kind of come back and hang out and, they spend time with their kids and stuff. But I'm like, what, like, I feel like, as a guy, maybe it's just me, but you need something to kind of keep your brain busy on things. And I know kids can certainly keep you busy, but like when your kids go down, like, I can sit down and read about cameras and stuff like that for hours, and it just keeps me entertained, or, get into a workout regimen or something, or, whatever it is. But I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I need to find stuff to fill the time. I can't just be like hanging out watching TV. I get super bored. Matter of fact, I don't watch any TV really. I mean, other than the Penguins pretty much dominating everybody on the face of the planet, winning back-to-back cups. I haven't really been doing much more TV watching. I'm out doing something, just tinkering in the garage or whatever it is, trying to fill the time. But a lot of guys I know aren't like that. I don't know. Weird. Okay, well, I think that's a first for the HP Outdoors Waterfowl podcast. We actually had to take a pause mid-episode for Dan to deal with some kid situations. So like we said, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But we're back, and we're talking how we survive.
Doing in the summer. Yeah. So one thing I saw that you have and I have now are the brute force sandbags, and that seems to be a summertime thing. Even like last year, I was getting ready for Colorado. This year, I'm doing a Boulder Beast, which is a 27-mile trail run, and literally it's out in Lock Haven, and the Boulder Beast is a very underestimated name for it. They're literally boulder fields that are up the entire mountain and around the mountain, and you have to climb up those and dodge snakes and all the fun kind of stuff. So I guess there's checkpoints. There's 2 or 3 checkpoints throughout, and if you do not make the time, then they sweep you off the course. You cannot go on any further. So, hopefully those sandbags do their job, and I get rid of my dad bod a little bit and back in shape and can, tackle that thing. So if I make it, I'll be semi-surprised.
Sounds like a great time. I mean,
I'll be semi-surprised from where I'm at right now. But
are you? Is this like an individual thing, or do you have like a team that you do with?
I'm going out with a couple of buddies, but it's pretty much on your own. So
yeah.
But here's my thing. I kind of want, after being in Colorado last year, I want to use the trekking poles. And I saw in pictures that some people have them and some don't. And I didn't. What do you think about that? You think that's cheating?
My immediate thought when you said that, I was like, in my head, I was like, man up. Don't be keep this kid friendly. But I was like, that in my mind, I was like, yeah, man up. But I've never, been on the mountains in Colorado, so I don't exactly know how helpful those are, but
they're helpful. They help. But I
also have a hard time relating because I would never do a 27-mile race. So
yeah.
I don't really know what that says about me, but
I'm almost half tempted to take like a small pack and just stuff them in there because they fold down, and then when I get to mile like 20, 21, if I need them. If I get to 21, I mean, I'm probably going to cramp up before then. So,
well, I mean, I'm thinking like you're climbing boulders with these sticks. Like, what if you fall? Can you like impale yourself?
No, they have like I'm not sure what the ends are made of, but they stick like they grind into the stone or rock or whatever. Like they will not slip and slide. But they have hand loops. So you put your wrist, loop around your wrist.
Like ski poles.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty roughly. Much.
So yeah, if you fall on that, dude, you're screwed.
It's not like
if you fall.
No, it's not like
comes up and punches you in the stomach, you're in deep doo-doo.
No, it's like a four peg end on it. It's not like a sharp ski pole.
All right, man. I'm just saying, you're on the mountain for 20 miles, you're going to be tired. You're going to be falling around climbing boulders. I don't know, man. You do you, bro. Do you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to go about it.
That's in September too, right?
September 23rd, yeah.
You just bagging the whole goose season this year? Is that your deal?
I only hunted, I hunted one early season day last year.
I know. You don't even duck hunt anymore. I'm going to start calling you Katniss because all you do is get the bow out.
No,
your Hunger Games out there with the bow all the time. So
I duck hunted
Katniss.
I duck hunted a ton last year. I didn't goose hunt very much.
Yeah, all right, Katniss.
Man.
That or I'm going to start calling you the Mockingjay. I'm not really sure which yet, but they seem fitting. In your trad life now, right? You're all traditional, so
I have a recurve. I haven't even shot it yet.
Oh man,
I'm just not prepared.
Yeah. Anyway, the other thing I will say about the summertime is, particularly this year, I know some guys have been already on this with Gander Mountain going out of business or whatever. You can get some really good deals on some gear during the summertime. I've seen it particularly with guys who, have some gear that they're looking to sell used. And, you get to this point in the year where it's like duck season seems like it was forever ago. Feels like it's going to be forever till it gets here again. And maybe you need some cash for something or whatever, that the person needs some cash. And they said, well, I've had these decoys around here or whatever. Let me move these. And you can get some great deals on some good gear. So, seems like there's a new trader or for sale group on Facebook popping up every time you turn around. You see lots of stuff for sale. Side note, if you're in the market for any fly fishing Orvis waders, hit me up because got some I'm trying to move.
Getting rid of them. And boots.
Yeah, I do. I got boots too. But yeah, that's another thing that can be helpful in the summertime. And, I don't care if it's summertime, in season. I mean, every duck hunter loves getting new gear. I mean, getting a piece of new gear is freaking Disneyland. So,
and remember from last episode, floater, goose decoys, and shell sleepers.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are big things from the
Field Hut
I'm trying to blank on the word. Yeah, the seminar from Field. Yeah. I definitely want to add some sleeper shells and some floater, but I'm assuming most people on this that listen to this show are familiar with what Rogers Sporting Goods is, and how they just have their decoys a lot cheaper. And I've been looking to get into some Avian X floater goose decoys, and they're just sold out nonstop. I mean, I haven't checked it recently, but like when I made the decision that I was going to do it, I mean, I had like some gift cards from Christmas and stuff like that I was thinking about using. I just couldn't find them in stock at the Rogers price. You can find them a lot of places at the full retail. Mm-hmm. But so keep an eye out on Rogers, because when they get good stuff and they do price attractively, it goes quickly. So
you're gonna put a zinc decal on your truck, or what?
No, I've actually stripped off most of the decoys, the decals off my truck. The few that I had, I've taken off for the most part. I'm just entertaining different goose decoys, and I think that they offer an interesting point in the market where you get a nice mix of quality and price. I think they're their quality is good. The price is fair. I mean, some of these decoys just get out of hand, and I've talked about this before. I've got Higdon full foam filled geese decoys right now, and they are the most heavy thing ever. I mean, they're great. They're durable. They look great, whatever. They just weigh 100 million pounds, and it's really tough, especially if I got to carry them across the pasture or something to a pond. It's just not conducive for that. So I'm looking to add to the spread, and I'm like, let me try some different stuff. And I like my zinc calls. I've been, I've been handling zinc turkey decoys and stuff in Cabela's this spring. I don't have any reason to believe that they're not quality. So it's pretty much between them and Dakota decoys I've been kind of wrestling. And I've got some Dakota full bodies that I like, but it just seems like they're a little bit more expensive, from what I've seen lately. And, that's kind of what's turned me on to zinc for the most part.
Talking about stuff going on lately, and going back to my unprepared comment, what do you think about McGregor and Mayweather?
Oh, yes. I don't know, man. I'm not a big MMA guy / boxing / whatever it is that they're going to do guy. But what really I think about it is when I hear each of them stand to make north of $100 million off of this thing, I just wish someone would have abused me when I was a kid or something, so I would hate everybody and be tough and want to fight everybody. Because for $100 million, my gosh, I'd go in there and get beat up by somebody. I mean, goodness gracious. But God bless them. I mean, I'd like to see it just to see how it looks, but I have a feeling that, I don't know. I mean, Floyd Mayweather is one of the best defensive fighters ever, right? I mean,
I don't think Connor's going to touch him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how a guy that, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know a lot about Conor McGregor, but he's got no professional boxing experience. Hasn't done one professional round of boxing in his career.
Right.
How is he expecting to do what, of course, Pacquiao's past his prime or whoever else but I mean, no one else has been able to do. And I mean, who knows? I mean, I will give this to Conor McGregor. He is definitely the kind of guy when the lights come on, he turns it up. You know, I mean, he's a Showtimes type guy. So who knows? But
I hope he catches him. I hope he gives him his first loss.
Well, of course. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's a jerk. I mean, I'd like to see him get smacked around too. But, I don't know if I see it happening or not. But what did I hear about it this morning? I don't know. I'll have to come back to think about it. But they were talking about if McGregor beat Mayweather, would it be the biggest upset of all time in boxing? And actually, the odds in Vegas I don't think are as bad or as steep as what they were for some other fights that happened. But I can't remember which ones they were, because I was kind of surprised that he wasn't as big of an underdog as what he is.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. But, yeah, they're getting paid big time.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount of money. Well, getting back on track here, the one guy we hunt with all the time, our buddy Matt, has acquired in a really weird way a pontoon boat. And we're, considering making a floating island blind.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big revelation.
This has been like on our hit list for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, my dad used to do this when he was a kid, pontooming. But, I mean, literally, you understand if you do this, your excuses for not like heavily pursuing diver ducks, they're just whittling down.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a lot to stand on there, guy.
No.
There's just not a good reason.
I like diver duck hunting.
Well, yeah, I mean, you killed a few buffleheads last year and was like, had a good time, right?
Yeah.
Over your massive decoy spread.
6.
Hey, sometimes that's all it takes.
6 bluebills and a dozen mallards. I head out.
But I'll tell you, if you had a pontoon where you could either tether it out there or drive it out and anchor it and have it to where it's brushed in on 4 sides and you could hunt from both sides, have like 4 guys, two sitting on, or however many, but just guns on each side. Those lakes up there where you're at, I mean, you guys will murder the ducks. I mean, I'm not kidding, because they just trade up. They just trade up and down the lake all day long, back and forth. And there's just hardly any pressure out there because, a couple different reasons. But, yeah, I mean, you guys will.
I already got my spots picked out. Yeah.
I can't believe it. I mean, it's to the point where I hound you about this enough, but for those that don't know, I mean, I ask Dan all the time why this hasn't happened already. So I'm pretty excited that this could potentially happen.
Yeah.
Matt better. He's going to have to take the bull by the horns here, because no offense, but to see this to fruition, I'm putting somebody else in charge on this just to see it through.
Yeah, I texted him today. He said he's having a guy come and look at the trailer before he moves it. So that's a smart move. I think it's been sitting for a bit. So,
yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah,
but
not bad.
Just tell him, yeah, dude, you go set it up. I'll be bow hunting, and then once archery season's over, I'll come and duck hunt a little bit, I guess.
Oh my god! So what else you got?
Not much else, man. Honestly, it for me, the summer is about spending time with family, counting the Saturdays till college football season starts, and just kind of, I don't know. I hate heat. I hate all that stuff. So it's not like I enjoy it. So I just try to do the best I can. And, but I think my number one thing that helps me try to survive it's just, I try to put it out of my mind a little bit and focus on other things that I typically don't focus on throughout the rest of the year. Other hobbies that I like, just projects around the house, working out, trying to get in a little better shape. It's always nicer when you can get up in the morning and go for a run and it's not like 2 degrees outside, things like that.
Right.
I try to focus on, but whatever it is that you do that's not duck hunting, I mean, do it. Focus on that stuff. And if you're going to focus on your duck hunting, I would just say kind of, take it easy. Because, I mean, even, as much as building blinds is fun, it sucks doing that 95-degree weather. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's not fun. So and I mean, again, we get a lot of hate mail because we talk a lot about scouting, right? I mean, everybody hates that and whatever, but summer's a good time to get out, talk to people, meet new people, start building those, relationships. And the good thing about the summertime is if there's areas where like farms and stuff that these birds have been hitting historically, you can start building the relationship with those farmers and those landowners where you don't have to ask for permission today, right? I mean, you can build it over the course of 3 months before you finally ask the question. Maybe that's what it'll take, get out there, bale some hay, that stuff sucks too. But if it gets you a spot, it's hard to give up a Saturday in season to do work on a farm. It's a lot easier to give up some time during the summer when you're not trying to hunt.
Yep. And you know where the cornfields are, what is planted already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do. What's that?
No, I was going to say, you know what your crops are going to look like, and they're going to be popping up soon. So you're right about that. And people will be baling hay soon and all that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the allergies are flying up here already. I don't know how much longer you wanted to go with this, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, I actually heard it on another podcast and thought it was way too interesting not to talk about. And it's how Reelfoot Lake came to be.
Okay.
Do you know how it came to be?
I have no idea.
All right. So an overview of Reelfoot Lake. It's funny because anywhere you look at it, the acreage is way different. So some people say 13,000 acres. I've seen up to 25, but most of them say 13 to 15,000. The average depth of this lake is 5.2 feet, and the deepest area is 18 feet. So with this, it's like one of the best fishing places in America. But, all right, going back to the formation of it. It sits on a heavy fault line, and Reelfoot Lake was formed in 1811 due to an earthquake that was said to be, like, they registered it on our Richter scale now, and it said it was a 7.5 to 8 on Richter scale. And then within a half an hour, there was a second one that was a 7.5. And this was in like August of 1811, I believe. And from there on, there were 34 aftershocks that went all the way into 1812. So this was like a long 5-month, 6-month type demolition of this area. So it sinks. And it actually made the Mississippi flow backwards as it backfilled this area.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So there was all kinds of like trees getting torn down and like boats just sinking and people never found and like all this stuff. But that's how that came to be.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean,
But yeah, so this 13,000 acres or whatever it is sank, 5 foot on average and below the water line. So pretty neat. But yeah, a lot of good history there. Reelfoot was the actual Indian chief, and how it got its name is from this Reelfoot. He had a club foot and would like swing it out, and they named him Chief Reelfoot. Well, apparently he wanted to marry the daughter of the neighboring tribe across the river, and the chief would not let his daughter marry Reelfoot because of his deformity. So Reelfoot went over with his warriors and killed all the other warriors in his other tribe and pretty much kidnapped the chief's daughter. And this made the Indian gods very unhappy from legend, and that's what brought on the earthquakes.
Wow.
How about that little tidbit?
Obviously I've never hunted Reelfoot Lake, but you hear a lot about it, and if memory serves, it's like one of those very, very dense, like a lot of pressure.
Yep.
On those particular areas around there, but it's in prime spot.
But they have blind laws there too.
Right.
Public, but you have blind laws, and you can't. I think you can't transfer the blind, like within family, but I believe you can sell. You can sell it like outside the family or something. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, pretty neat and interesting history there, and the guys that were talking about it on their podcast knew a lot more than what I did, and they grew up down there, so
right.
It was good. It was fun to listen to.
Yeah, I will say this too. Lately, I can't remember if I've talked about this on the show or not, but when I work out, I like to listen to podcasts versus music, because when I listen to people talk about things that I'm interested in, I find my mind more engaged in the conversation and less focused on how bad my body hurts.
Right.
When I'm running to music, I just tend to hear it, but I don't engage with it. It just kind of, fills the space where my mind's not working and I'm still focusing on how bad my body hurts. So I've been expounding on my podcast portfolio as far as who I listen to and what I listen to. So,
any good ones? You listen to Jocko?
No, I don't know. I'm not really into that style. Like, I don't listen to Rogan. I don't listen to any of that kind of stuff. I tend to listen to stuff focused around my hobbies. I listen to a lot of photography podcasts. I listen to other hunting podcasts. Like when Serial was on, I really liked that. Listen to those. Just stuff that I can engage my mind in, and I don't know. Some of that other stuff I'm just not really into for whatever reason, but millions of people are, so
yep.
Maybe I'm missing out. Anyway.
Good stuff.
That's really all I got, man. What else you got?
Not too much. Checking out some new decoy rigs. Some Texas rigs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll probably talk a little bit more about that kind of in a future episode, but working on trying some new product out, stuff like that. So that's cool. But, we talk about this and how to get through the summer, but I mean, you know how it is, man. You freaking blink your eyes and it's like time flies by.
Yep.
And I mean, my son just turned 6 and I was like, where did that 6 years of my life go?
Right.
So before you know it, man, we'll be gearing up. I'll be going hunting and you'll be going to the beach and running Ragnars or whatever you do. And I'll be busting birds and, gosh. We'll be back into it.
Well, that's the week between. The week between is when you're coming up, right? Possibly.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But, yeah, probably not going to happen.
Probably not.
Yeah. I've had some stuff come up recently that's going to occupy a bunch of my time. So I'm not going to have a lot of flexibility to get up there, I don't think. But we'll see. But
do what we can. Do what we can.
So anyway, before we check out, I just want to remind everybody what we started this show with. If you're into Onyx maps, if you're interested in it, definitely check out our discount code HP Outdoors, all lowercase. Save yourself 20%. Awesome program. Seriously,
it's worth it.
I mean, I think back to when I used to hunt without this type of technology and just how much better it is having it. Mm-hmm. So, if you're curious, they have a, what is it, Dan, 7 or 10 day free trial?
Ooh, I think it was 10.
Okay. Well, they have a free trial.
Yeah.
You can go download the app, try it out for your state, your area, check out how it looks, check out the different map layers and things like that you can do with it. It's free. They don't pester you when it's over. If you just want to break ties, you do it. Awesome opportunity to kind of dip your toe in the water on that if you're interested. So check it out. See what you think. Let us know. Anything else, Dan, you want to hit on before we wrap up here?
No. I think we are putting an addition on. And with that
addition?
Yeah, with that will come air conditioning. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, good talk.
So I'll let you come up and build deck chairs and decks.
Yeah, I'm retired.
No.
Done. All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
Thanks for joining us for episode 63 of the HP Outdoors Waterfowl podcast. Check out all the past episodes we've got for you guys. iTunes, hpoutdoors.com. Definitely check out the Onyx maps. 20% off discount code HP Outdoors, all lowercase. Take advantage of that stuff while you get the opportunity. Enjoy your summer. Try not to be too hot. Don't worry. Football season, duck season, goose season, it's coming up. Just hang in there and do what you got to do to get through the summer. So for Dan, I'm Josh. Take care.